7 benefits of waking up early that have nothing to do with becoming a CEO. How to wake up earlier so you can get more done. And the 7 benefits of waking up early that have nothing to do with being a CEO. But first, please allow me to inhale your validation. And to let me inhale said validation, send it my way via subscribing to the YouTube channel, hitting the notification bell so that you can get more videos right when they come out. All other platforms, please like, comment, subscribe, do whatever the platform requires to send me love and validation. How to wake up early. Everyone wants to know how to come up with the perfect morning routine. How do I get up at 5 a.m.? How do I have a miracle morning? All the famous uber popular people wake up early. Ariana Huffington, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, they all wake up early and have this magical morning routine that just turns them into billionaires and fairies with unicorn dust everywhere. This goddamn morning routine nonsense. The number one reason you don't wake up early is because you don't have a reason to. Not a good one, at least. Waking up early for the sake of waking up early is the number one reason you'll never wake up early. I've talked about this a lot. You don't want to copy the habits of successful people in the hopes that it'll just somehow magically make you become successful. You want to adopt certain habits, certain routines, because those habits and routines are going to be a means to an end, not the end itself. See, any other way of doing something where you are trying to adopt a productivity habit as a simple end in and of itself is going to lead to you quitting, because it's just a form of mental masturbation, right? There are a lot of people like this who are kind of just doing these self-improvement routines for no reason, because they have been led to believe that there is some magical potion that comes with doing so, and that's the furthest thing from the truth. So the number one reason that you want to wake up early is because you have something that morning routine is going to contribute to. You have to have a reason that compels you to wake up early. And it might not be something that you necessarily need to do, right? So before, when I was single, when I was younger, when I first started writing, I was working at a second shift job. So I didn't have a morning routine. I woke up at normal time, like 8-9 o'clock. And then I would write for a couple of hours, and then I would do some reading, and then I would go to my second shift job. So I didn't need to have a morning routine because my schedule didn't force me to have to adopt that habit to get where I was trying to go. Now, when I got married and I had an infant child and I had a 9-to-5 job, all of a sudden I needed a morning routine. But what made that morning routine so much easier for me to adopt? I had already gotten traction with writing. I already had something important that I didn't want to let fall by the wayside, and I realized that after my 9-to-5, I was too tired to want to write, and then I would have to worry about things like tending to my wife and dinner and the kid, and it was just too much. So I realized that the only way that I was going to get this thing to continue would be to wake up early. It was going to be the only time that I had energy. It was going to be the only time that I had peace and quiet, and it was going to be the only time where I had the perfect combination of the two to where I would be able to focus and get things done. So if you want to have this morning routine in the first place, figure out why you want to have it. Align your habits to a value or an outcome that you want to get. So if you have to wake up early because that's the best time for you to go to the gym, perfect. If it's the best time to work on your side project, perfect. Oftentimes, it's probably going to be for that reason. I know a lot of you have 9-to-5s, and I know a lot of you out there either have or want to start some sort of side project or business. Well, if your life is chaotic and you have a family and you have kids and you have a 9-to-5, probably going to have to wake up early. And the funny thing about it is, I never particularly enjoyed waking up early. I've heard about this book called The Miracle Morning, where people wake up and they do this routine that makes them perfectly happy and positive. Wasn't necessarily how it worked for me. I just woke up and was like, all right, I'm up early. Let me get my work done. But I enjoyed the work that I was doing, which is what made it easier for me to do it. So I wanted to start that whole broad point off with why it's important to have a compelling reason to wake up early in the first place. But now that I've done that, let's talk about some of the actual benefits that you do get from waking up early. Benefit number 1, you feel like you're better than people. Now, who am I, Mr. Self-Improvement guy, Mr. Down-to-Earth guy, to talk about gaining feelings of superiority, especially after the soliloquy I just started this video off with? Look, you need every psychological advantage that you can get in this life. You need every signal to send to your brain that you are on an upward trajectory. You need every single signal that you can send to your subconscious mind to help you increase confidence, because this whole process of building a brand new life from scratch can be arduous sometimes. So you're gonna need a little bit of mental fuel. And I will tell you from experience, you do start to develop feelings of superiority when you wake up early. Like when you wake up at 4:30 or 5 in the morning and you got your side project done and you got your workout done and people aren't even up yet, people haven't even opened and got the crust out of their eyes yet, and you're already out there killing it, you do feel good about yourself. It does feel good to have that level of productivity, and it does make you feel a lot better about the rest of the day. Like my 9 to 5 didn't always necessarily go so well when I had it, but I always had that morning where I knew I got some writing done, where I knew I added another brick to the castle of my empire, right? So that gave me sanity when things weren't going so well in my job. That gave me sanity when I had a chaotic and hectic life after the job when it comes to errands and family and kids. I knew that I was gonna be able to wake up the next morning and work on my stuff, and then I had a feeling of accomplishment and yes, superiority. It's not like I was directly competing with other people, but it felt good to feel like, yeah, these other people aren't, they're not hustling like me. It felt good. It feels good and gives you confidence to feel like other people aren't hustling quite as hard as you are or taking the extra steps like you're taking. So if you are taking those extra steps, go ahead and pat yourself on the back for it. It'll make you feel better. Benefit number 2, waking up earlier will help you sleep better. It will smooth out your sleeping schedule. Often, if you wake up at 5 in the morning and then you work on your side project or workout, or then you go to work, then you have your errands and your family stuff, by the time it's bedtime, you'll actually be much better able to go to sleep. So I know there's a lot of people who have trouble sleeping or they get insomnia or different things like that, and that's because they still have too much energy at the end of the day, and then you're putting all that energy into watching TV or doing something with screens, and that's keeping you up as well. Well, when you wake up earlier in the morning, first of all, you're up earlier, so you probably expend more energy throughout the day. And then secondly, you get your stimulation more during the day, and it's kind of just your whole life in general. As you become more purpose oriented, you're waking up at 5 a.m. By the time you get home, you just want to enjoy some time with your family or with your friends, and you wind down a little bit, and you don't necessarily need to be wired and tuned up into TV for so many hours. Like some people get so stuck and glued to the screen because they're bored that it causes them to get poor quality sleep, and then it just creates a negative perpetual cycle where they stay up too late so they don't get enough sleep and they wake up later. But when you wake up earlier, you go to bed earlier, you get better quality sleep, and you feel better overall. So actually waking up early, like try waking up at 5 a.m. If you think you're like a night owl or whatever, try waking up at 5 a.m. By the time it's like 8 p.m. at night, you're like ready to go to bed. I'm an old man. I feel like an old man. I don't stay up late at all. I go to bed about 9 p.m. every day. Then I wake up at 5. I wake up a little bit later now because thanks to having my morning routine, I no longer have to go to work. So I don't have to wake up early. But then sometimes I still wake up early because I still want to have that feeling like I'm better than everybody else and like I'm really doing the work. So it's a win-win combination. You will appreciate having that solitude of silence and peace that comes with waking up before everyone else does. This is especially true for you who have kids. If you have a family, you know how chaotic things can be. You know how silence can be very hard to come by, right? So in the morning, I would do a lot of things to help get myself centered mentally along with doing the writing. So I would meditate for 20 minutes a day, and then sometimes I would journal and write down ideas, and you just get to spend some time for yourself. And that's the crazy thing, like sometimes if you don't carve out any time to just kind of be with yourself and be one just with, silence in your own thoughts, it can feel like your life is just going on this monotonous loop where you wake up and you're just instantly phone, stimulation, chug down coffee, donut, go to work, boss yelling at you, go on lunch break, run to get some pizza, go back to work, go home, kids screaming, putting dinner together, gotta go pick up something from the store, watch TV, go to bed, wake up, do it all over again. It's like, whoa, there's no such way to live, So having that morning to spend some time carving out your thoughts and just having silence is great. Now, you don't want to do it for the sole purpose in and of itself to do that, right? You don't want to do the routine to do the routine, but often that silence in conjunction with whatever sort of mission you're trying to fulfill with your life via the morning routine, it'll start to make you feel really good, and you'll adopt habits that are going to be conducive to making you feel better. So like I started practicing meditation to help me gain more mental clarity to become a writer. I started meditating to help me stay sane through the kind of tumultuous 5-year process that it took to get here. So you notice a pattern where you find an objective to aim at, you focus on aligning yourself in a certain direction, then you build the habits around that. All right, so I'm going to link to my video where I talk about how to identify your strengths and how to change your life and just get started so that you understand why you're doing things in the first place. And then your morning routine will be your fortress of silence that's going to help keep you mentally focused. Waking up early is going to give you a better chance at quitting your job. Like I said earlier in the video, waking up early is one of the few ways that you're actually going to have the time to work on the side hustle. I know I'm always talking about side hustles and eventually being able to turn that into a business and everything like that. Waking up in the morning is going to give you the benefit of creating the pathway that'll help you be able to quit your job. I honestly think that most people just don't focus on building a side business because they don't have energy. You just get drained. You just get drained by the rat race. You get drained by the hamster wheel. It's a lot to deal with. But yeah, by the time you get home, like some of you, like if you're a night owl, that's fine. But for a lot of people, going through the normal day-to-day existence, you are left with no energy by the time it's time to start working on your thing. So wake up early. If you hate your job, use that as motivation to wake up. If that's actually one good source of motivation, I'll give you that. If you hate your job, that can be good enough reason to just wake up and be like, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do, but I ain't working at this job forever, so 5 a.m., so be it. That is a compelling reason if you don't like your job. And trust me, if you don't like your job, this is a problem that you are going to want to fix. It's just a problem you're going to want to fix. I don't care how hard it is. A job is 1/3 of your waking hours of your entire life. You're going to want to fix that and find better employment or start a business, and waking up early can definitely help you do that. You'll start to get better with time and be able to like manage and appreciate and honor your time a lot more. So, often people will start off and they'll have like a little bit of time in the morning to wake up. Like maybe you only wake up early enough to where you have a half hour to work on your thing. Maybe you only have an hour, but if you dedicate yourself to focusing on that period of time, you'll realize like after a couple days, you're like, wow, I could actually get a lot done in a half hour and an hour. You'll realize how your dream can be built in the cracks and crevices of your life. You'll become more efficient. You'll understand that, if there's some time later on in the day, maybe your lunch break where you have a pocket of energy, like, boom, you'll go in. You'll do a half hour or something at lunch. That's what I used to do. I'd have a good morning session and I'd be like feeling really good. I'm like, all right, let me take a lunch break and squeeze in another 45 minutes of writing. Like, you'll realize how important 15, 30, 45 minute, 1 hour long windows can be. So wake up early. Like, you don't necessarily have to wake up super early at like 5:30 in the morning. Maybe you wake up an hour early and squeeze it in, but then you'll realize the magic of squeezing in your time. And it'll do wonderful things for you. You won't feel like you've wasted a day. How many times do you feel like your days, weeks, and months have just been wasted? You waste a day at that job you don't like. You waste a day thinking about building your dream but not doing anything about it. You waste another day and it just compounds, and the more days you feel like you wasted, the less motivated you are. The more days you feel like you've kind of let fall to the wayside, you just kind of fall into the quicksand more and more and more. Like I said earlier, after getting done with my morning routine, even if the rest of my day sucked, it was never a total loss. As long as I woke up and worked on building that side business or building something of value, the rest of the day didn't feel like a waste. My entire day, I knew something meaningful was going to come out of it every single day. And you will not understand the power of making a small commitment and just letting everything fall by the wayside. How beneficial is that? You'll just tell yourself, like, all right, I got my half hour, 24-hour day, 16 hours awake. I only spent 30 minutes working on my purpose, but it's better than zero. A lot of you are going through your life and you got 0.00 minutes of purpose logged per day. Start logging 30 minutes of purpose per day. Start logging an hour of purpose per day. Your perspective on how well you spent your day will change dramatically. You'll get used to it. That's one of the major benefits of starting and sustaining a routine where you're waking up early. One of the benefits of waking up early is you'll just get used to it and it'll become easier. Like I said, I never necessarily loved the process of waking up early. I never really loved it, but I got used to it. Alarm clock went off at 5, I woke up. I got it done. See, that's the part about building a dream. Everyone always wants to talk about the sexiness of it, of getting inspired and getting fired up. No, sometimes you're on autopilot. Sometimes you don't feel like waking up, but you get used to it. See, we get used to the malaise of our life, going to our 9 to 5 and being on bullshit. We get used to that. We wake up and get used to that and do that every day. Work on a productivity routine that's aligned with something that matters to you, and you'll get used to that too. So I keep telling people, like, motivation does become easier. It gets easier to be motivated. It's not as hard as it was in the beginning for me. I'm motivated on autopilot now. Like, I'm a self-improvement productivity robot, but that's because I started small and I built routines that were aligned with the future that I wanted to have. So that's what I'm going to leave you with. Remember, align your habits with the person you want to be, with the future you want to have, with the strengths that you identify. And then you might have what it takes to start waking up early and experiencing all the magical benefits of waking up early. Okay, You 2.0 is the name of the book. If you haven't gotten that on Amazon, please go get that. It would make me feel so great. YouTube, please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so that you can get more videos. Also, there's links in the description below for all of my social media channels. Please go and follow. I create different forms of content everywhere. All platforms. Please like, comment, subscribe, share your love so that I can inhale it into my soul. I'll see you on the next video.